Class, this tutorial is really about honing our skills and selection. We're going to look at how to select another way of selecting as we've been doing the past few weeks. We're also continuing with brush and how we can create art with different brushes. So follow the instructions to download your brushes. So once you have done that, then open up a portrait, and it could be any portrait that you've done for other classes, and then follow along. Okay, so there's a few things that I want to do with this portrait. So I'm going to show you two different examples that you can do for this assignment. So the first thing is, I don't like how tight the image is, right? Because I'm trying to create this conceptual work. So I think I'm going to crop her down like this, and then expand the canvas. I think I want 10, and then I want maybe another 5, and see how that looks. So I kind of okay with that. I think I want a little bit bigger. I don't want a square. So I am going to increase the height just the top. So I want it to go upwards by 10. So there you go. That's a little bit too big, so I'm going to crop it. Yes, that's about it. And there you go. Okay, so for I created, increase the canvas side. I can create a solid color. It doesn't really matter right now, but I'm just going to create white so I have a reference to it. Okay, so next thing is let's select just her. So we talk a lot about the magic wand, so you can continue doing that magic wand. We did it through channels, and now we're going to do it through color range, like we did it with the other image, and the other snow assignment. Okay, so color range. Right now, instead of sample colors, I want to drag. Actually, sample colors fine, because I just want to pick the background. You notice it's not all perfect. You can pick the plus sign and then add this to it, and then add the back to it as well. Okay, so it's not all that perfect. It over selects, so I make sure that's not selected, but click OK. So this is a rough. We're going to refine it a little bit. Okay, so from here, there's a few things we can do. We can invert the selection, but if you notice, it's not quite selected well. So I'm actually going to go into this rectangle marquee, and actually, I'm just going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to keep it the way it is. So I am going to click on solid color, and it could be any color just so you can see it, right? So make sure you click on the mask tool, the brush. I want her to be, actually, you know what, I'm going to turn it back to white. I want to make sure she is selected, so I am going to block her. So, like that. So I'm going to just do a rough blocking just for this tutorial. If you're heading in, refine it. So you see here, the black is blocked, so she's blocked. So if I turn that background to red, she's not affected, right? So there are some issues that you want to maybe have a smaller brush, go in and kind of clean that up just a bit. Okay, so I'm going to create another copy of this color fill by dragging it down to a plus sign, or you can right click and duplicate. So Then here I want to click on the mask, Command or Control I to invert. Okay, so I'm going to put that black. And there you go. So you have, so created a layer. So this one is the portrait, right? And then this one is the background. So name it so you know what you're doing, okay? So now that so there's still some spots there that's not quite perfect. Go in and clean it up just a bit. Okay. I think red is a bit too intense, so I'm gonna probably do that. Okay. So we'll fix that a little later on. Okay, so next, now that you have it in a silhouette, and it doesn't have to be a silhouette, you can easily change opacity, right, to whatever you want, right? So I can, maybe have a bit of her showing or not. Okay, so it's up to you. So I like it the silhouette. I'm going to just keep it like that. And then now we're going to create another layer. And this is where I want you to play with your brush, right? So we can add birds. So go up to the brush. You should have these two loaded like that. Let's go to birds. Let's do seagull. Okay. So I don't want the seagull to be, well, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to click on the seagull. Maybe I want other birds. So I'm going to click on bird number 2. Okay, so now it's all white, but what if I want to change the color of my white easily? So I'm going to do solid color and do red. So Option Command or Option Control, we're going to go G, right? So Option Control or Command to clip. So we're clipping it too. So we're saying paint all these birds red, okay? So this solid color applies to the bird below. And mask it because I don't like all those birds. So maybe go back up to your normal brush. Let's collapse that. Okay, back to my normal brush. And I want to remove, so again, we're blocking black. Make sure brush is selected still. I don't like these birds here. And I find I don't want the patterning. So I'm going to cut that a little bit so it's less of a pattern, okay? I don't want to have that seagull there. Again, I can mask this layer as well and then block that seagull and these little areas, okay? So that's how you do it. The next things I want you to do is create another layer and then play with all those brushes that you imported. So perhaps flower, let's pick a flower. So I want the flower, because it's on a different layer, to come out right here. Command Control T. So I want to rotate it so coming out the side of her body. Okay, so I want it just applying to her. So just applying to the background. So I'm going to drag that down to the background. Okay, and then I'm going to apply a solid color to it. Again, any color would do. Option Command or Option Control to clip. Okay, so there you go. And then maybe I want another color flower up here, and then another right here. But I want to rotate that. Command or Control T. Just rotate it a little bit like this. Okay, and again, I don't want to be repetitive, so I'm going to create a mask on this layer. Name it flower. Mask on this layer. Come back to my brush, regular brush. And I'm just going to remove with black brush some of these duplications, so I don't want that one there. I might remove that one. Smaller brush to remove the smaller stem. Okay, so that's an option. The other thing is you might want to just apply it on her, right? So in that case, click the layer just above it. Command Control G to clip just underneath. And let's find another flower to play with. So vintage flower, let's play with this one here. Okay, so yeah, so I just want it like that. So now I'm going to delete this layer and this color here. I want to make sure, well, maybe actually I want really white. Okay. And then, so continue playing with this in your own time. I would continue adding a little bit to it if you want. So that's one way that you can do. The other thing is, if you don't want it that transparent, right, you can come up here, or you want to show it a little bit, go up to the portrait, and then pull it down just a little, so you might just want to see just a bit of her, right? So I'm going to stop here for this tutorial, but if I were to hand this in, I would continue working on it and try to smoothen this white and blend it with that white there, and so on and so forth. Okay, so a lot of things you can add to it. So think about what the feel you want, and then start playing with these brushes that we just imported. Okay, so again, this is working on our mask, selecting with color range, and then also playing with the brushes that we just imported. Save it as JPEG and upload it to the server when you're completed.